Welcome to part two of acing the algorithm. This is step 2 of a mini step plan to dominate the market and take control over social media. And I coined this step 2 is my favorite step, and it's called the magic switch. Guys, you're fine. The last time we all were together, we went over the 3 E's of magnetic content, and that was entertain, educate, and engage. So, for those of us who were not in the first step, you might be a little bit lost on this part, but we were talking about hooks, call to actions, and how to write a good story. These are essential parts of every social media post. The hooks stop the scroll, your story delivers value and connection, and your CTA tells them what to do next, because everyone needs to be told what to do next, okay? Key takeaways from last class were visibility does not happen by accident, it happens by design. You don't chase the algorithm, you train it. Show up on purpose, post with intention, respond like a human. You don't need more followers, you need more connection. Okay, so up here it says, it takes a lot of work to be effortless. And this is essentially what we're trying to get to, right? We're trying to get to, you are effortlessly attracting business, effortlessly. But effortlessness online does not come by doing nothing. Right? It doesn't. It takes a lot of work to become effortless. Why isn't this? Is it this one? Missing? Hold on. Here, I'll go. Yeah. My clicky doesn't work. Sorry. Clicky doesn't work. Clicky doesn't work.
I have to make a few calls and so let me help with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, that's good.
This one's good?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. The business just came to me. People say this, and this is what I call a pants on fire quit, okay? Business just came to me is a lot, and they are probably unaware that they were actually doing some of the things in the magic switch to excel their business. Nothing just happens because you showed up online, okay? Nothing. And the people that say this are probably just unaware of what's going on. This is the gist of this magic switch. There's a moment in social media, almost invisible, where effort flips into momentum. And I have coined this the magic switch. And this class is going to teach you how to use social media to your best and to the way that your clients are already using it, okay? This is how you want it to come off, as natural, emotional, like appealing to their emotions, and socially, obviously, because it's social media, okay? And each ingredient in this potion that I'm about to give you in the magic switch is harmless and not really effective on its own, but when you combine them all together, you're going to create market domination, okay? So, number 1. And I recommend taking pictures of these slides because there's a lot of wordage on here, so it might be better for you to do it this way. So the number 1 ingredient is called mirror magic. And the idea here is you market like a customer and not a brand. The spell effect that this has on the consumer is relatability. Without it, you sound like everybody else, and with it, people feel understood, okay? So you want people to constantly be understanding what you're talking about, what you're selling, what your brand is. People like familiarity, okay? So the things that you already do as a customer are the very things your business actually needs to be doing right now. So think about that. And what does your business, every business needs, right? Word of mouth, reviews, comments, social proofing, sales, connections, scrolling, liking, sharing, all of these things you actually do as a customer right now. You have to think of everything that you do in your business needs to be viewed through the eyes of the person that you want to be attracted, okay? So if you sound all billboardy, like, I'm the best agent ever, no one cares and they're not going to relate to it, right? Would you relate to that? You wouldn't. Like nothing's gonna, if I saw a post that said, I'm the #1 agent ever, I would scroll right past it, right? I would. Most people would, because there's not a familiarity to it. I'm not an agent. You know what I mean? But if you're thinking about your consumer is a buyer. They're not an agent. They don't care. You know what I mean? They do not care about these kinds of things. They want you to be relatable. So your behavior online reveals exactly how people want to be marketed to. Okay? This is the part that I want everyone to really get in the habit of doing. And this is like a little project that you are the guinea pig in, okay? So every scroll, comment, share, DM, save, all of these things, I want you to use this as your own form of market research, okay? I want you to think about why you are stopping the scroll on this one post. Think about what makes you comment to something. Because we like randomly go through our social media life and we'll comment on stuff, we'll save things, but we don't really think about why we're doing it, right? And to be a really good marketer, you need to understand how to sell to you first. How do people sell to me? What do I respond to? Why do I respond to these things? Think about who you trust online and why. Why do you trust this brand, this person, this voice? What are they saying that makes you go, oh yes, I love this, or I totally agree. These things are the things that make up really good social media. We are all human, right? We all have different buying styles, but our messaging is sort of the same, okay? We respond to things that call to us, not in a sale, like, okay, example. If I said, you need this phone because I want to sell it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very different than saying like, you need this phone because it will connect you with all your friends and it blah, 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 all the features, the things that help you in your life. Those are the things that you stop and take notice of because it appeals to you, okay? I want you to think about what you screenshot. Now, this is an interesting experiment, and you're gonna get a lot of aha moments about yourself when you start noticing, why am I screenshotting something? When do I share a post with my friends, my family? Think about every single one of those things that you do and study them. I mean, truly study them. What stops you dead in your tracks? Because this type of messaging, this type of language is your roadmap, okay, for social media. It is your roadmap. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you can relate to things and to people through your own experiences, right? So the things that you're familiar with and the things that you have gone through are usually the things that you can sell best, right? So like if I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna set up a business and I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna like market to single moms who, you know, just single moms. Let's just leave it at single moms. Well, I'm not a mom, right? I would be guessing my way through what is important to them, what appeals to single moms, what their issues are, right? So maybe I wouldn't start with something that I'm not, right? The key to really good social media is, and I'd like to call this collecting whys, right? You need to collect whys like Pokemon, like you are a human file cabinet full of whys. You need to know why single moms buy things, why people love this neighborhood, why are people fleeing this area? Why are people moving into this area? You need to know all of these whys. You need to collect them. You need to pick your why, the thing that appeals to you the most, the thing that is you. Your first target market should be, I'm using me as the avatar, right? I am going to ace selling to me. Once you ace selling to you, you can ace selling to other groups. Master your why, your own roadmap. Why do I buy things? We just had a holiday season, and this is like usually a good time to bring this up, but usually there's a lot of like big purchases during this time period. And there's a lot of different types of buyers, right? I'm an impulse buyer. Just straight up, I'm an impulse buyer. Like cool, new, flashy, gadgety, you've got me. My best friend is like I'm looking up the consumer reports, I'm looking at all of the different things, I'm cross-referencing all the stuff, super great. She's a super logical, right? I'm like, well, that said it could like do all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. I could care less about the, all of the inner workings of the blah, 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 blah. I just, if it's cool, I want it. You know what I mean? In my eyes. And that's just the type of marketing I'm attracted to. So when I market stuff, I highlight the flashiness of it. The sparkle. You know what I mean? I'm not like, well, those 18 surveys said, and here's the data for everything in the world. But you know what? If my best friend was selling houses, that's the type of like advertisement she would be doing. She would be the data girl. She's a scientist. I mean, she is actually. And she loves the data. But she would have a different marketing profile than me, obviously, right? However, if we were both starting businesses at the same time and she tried to like sell things in a flashy manner, it never work because she doesn't care about any of those things, right? So you have to really fine tune and understand you as a consumer. Before you can understand you as a marketer, you have to know why you buy things, okay? So Magic Mirror number 1 is very, very important to setting up you fundamentally in the marketplace. So investigate yourself. These are the things that you need to go home and do. Ask yourself, what types of posts do I interact with the most? What makes me ignore a post? What makes me share a post? And then you take that information and you reverse engineer it into making your own content based on your own habits, okay? Do you have any questions? No. Okay. All right. So, Magic Mirror, instead of just listed or market update, these are actual things that were written online that I actually saved because they appealed to an emotional part of me, right? This is the kind of kitchen you slow dance in. I loved that line. I saved it because I immediately could see it, right? I'm like, this is the type of kitchen you slow dance in. I love this, right? That appeals to me. And you have to investigate that. Like, oh, I'm an emotional buyer. Clearly, I buy things on emotion, right? If Peace had a floor plan, it would look like this. I loved that writing. That's just me. You have to do this with your own scroll history, with your own, why am I saving this? What is appealing to me, right? Because people don't engage with perfection. They don't. People engage with familiarity. Is this person familiar to me? Can I relate to this person? Do I relate to the messaging in this? I'll tell you right now that this is the kind of kitchen you slow dance in. I'm like, why do I love this so much? Right? Now, everyone knows I'm the world's biggest Swiftie, right? Everyone knows this, world's biggest Swiftie. This line reminded me of one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, right? And I'm like, damn, if this doesn't remind me of All Too Well, right? It really reminded me of that. And it appeals to a part of me that no marketer could ever capture knowingly, right? So people think, oh, well, there's all these people in this area and there's all these people in the world. And if I'm just targeting me, it's gonna really slow my business down because there's more of them than there are of me, right? But no, because what this is training you to do is use words in a really effective way. Once you master, would I buy this? Would I go to this open house? Would I call this agent? Based upon words. I mean, social media is mastering words, okay? Now, magic ingredient number 2, called the spotlight spell. Talking about others creates echoes, right? So the spell effect here is called trust and reach. Without it, you're shouting into nowhereville. You're just shouting into the wilderness. With it, you are circulating. Your message is circulating. Now, when you showcase local businesses, clients, neighbors, community stories, you trigger a natural human reflex. And that is very simply, people talk about people who talk about people. Okay, period. People talk about people who talk about people in a positive way, not like in a bad way. Okay. And you want your community to be highlighted, right? You want to be a member of the community because social media is about community, okay? And who and what do we spotlight? Well, coffee shops, gyms, boutiques, restaurants, local events, builders, stagers, inspectors, neighborhood meetings, yoga studios, and community events, planning and zoning, bars, new businesses. Now I'm going to put a little star on new businesses because we're going to get back to this. It's very important. Salons, farmers markets, anywhere where there's people gathering, you should be promoting it. Okay? People don't follow realtors for houses. They follow people who represent a lifestyle and a place. Say it again. People don't follow realtors for houses. They follow people who represent a lifestyle and a place. So when you highlight a local business, you are borrowing trust. It's really important because what you're doing is you're adding to your database by borrowing their business, okay? You expand your reach because you get all of their people. You anchor yourself as a community insider and you create organic word of mouth. And there is nothing more potent than organic word of mouth. Why spell number 2 is so important is because local businesses reshare your posts, okay? You get new audiences. You post it, they post it. 2 different databases seeing the same thing, right? Their customers become your warm leads. You are seen as generous and not self-promotional, which is super the key. And you create a network effect, not just content. So back to class 1, when it's like everything needs to have a purpose, or else why am I posting it? The purpose here is that the content that you're creating is actually creating a new network for you. So it's a 2-pronged thing. Yes, here I am out in the world doing my thing, right? You're saying that without having to say that part. You're saying, here I am in this community, being active and part of it, celebrating them, but at the same time, without having to say it, you are infiltrating their databases, right? And I'm going to tell you a little story about, okay, so back home in Maryland, there was a guy who opened a steakhouse. It was called Joe's Steaks. And Joe's Steaks, this guy was so cool. And I'm like a huge steak lover. Like I am like a steakhouse head. I don't know, I love steakhouse. So I was really excited about it. And he was freaking out because he had just opened. There was a Ruth Chris 25 minutes away. There was an Outback like 10 minutes away. But this guy was like really in the steak, family, like ranchers, like they were really into steak. So he was moving out of the ranching agricultural side of it, and he's like, I'm opening a steakhouse. It's what we do. My family is super into steak. Great. So I go in when they first open because it's a new steakhouse. I'm there. Like, you don't have to like tell me twice. And I fall in love with it. This guy's so into steak. It was the best steak I've ever had, right? I'm like, Ruth Chris, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, this is so good. He's like showing me all of like the salt rooms and the all the stuff, and it's like this passion, right? So I decide, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to come here all the time. I'm gonna do all my business here. I'm gonna send my clients for a gift certificate to this place in their closing baskets. I'm going to bring my family here. I'm going to be visible in this location. So I tell Joe this, right? I'm like, hey, listen, I love it here. And this is what I want to do. And he's like, oh my God, thank God. Because now he's a new business, right? Everyone who's in a new business or in the business that they want to be getting more business, they're all pacing around doing the same thing. How do I get more business? What if I close? Blah, 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 all the things, right? So when somebody comes in and says, hey, I see what you're doing here and I love it and I want to bring business here and I really want to be a part of your growth. Let me tell you something. Joe was so thankful, right? So then I started, like, as our relationship built, I started saying, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to send my clients there and I'm going to say, tell them that Holly's saying it. Okay, and when they say that to the waiter, I want you to give them free dessert. Okay, and I kept sending everyone there. I mean, I sent my family there, everyone, tell them Holly sent you, tell them Holly sent you, tell them Holly sent you. Okay, I'll come in every month and I'll just pay the tab for whatever, how many desserts I send, you know what I mean? So, in about 8 months, I had spent maybe $250, maybe. And I've gotten over $1 million in sales from that. $1 million instead of $250, right? Now, here's the next part. I decided, you know what? Let me just use this as a test run, okay? What if I record some of their clients and their response to like, how was your amazing steak? Let me interview Joe because like Joe, does anyone know you came from like 7 generations of ranchers? They don't know that. He was not really good at marketing. He's like, I'm a like farmer. I'm into steak and I'm into cows and that's it. You know what I mean? So I started making these little videos of him in that salt room and all of his, you know, all of the different types of aging and the tomahawk versus the fillet, like all of this stuff, right? I became super invested in his growth, right? And I was one of the first people to approach him like that. And we worked together for so long. We did tons of business. His business grew. Guess what? Mine grew also. And I kept posting stuff about his steakhouse and we were cross promoting it. Then this other interesting thing happens. And this is also coming up later, but I'm just going to highlight it now, is that when well, first of all, have you ever known anyone who's been on the news? Like anyone who's been on the news? Okay. So I had somebody that I knew that was on the news and she was so happy about it. Guess what? I'm gonna be on the news. I'm like, great, awesome. She sends me the clip. She's on the news for 4 seconds. Okay, like says like 2 words, like I like it. I mean, it was like, but it didn't matter. She was on the news and she sent it to everyone she had ever spoken to. She put it on her social media. She sent it to me in like 5 different formats, like email, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, she's like, look at me, I'm on the news, right? Huge highlight. So then I'm thinking, oh my God. Well, if she acts like this, again, we're all just human. We all kind of sort of have the same reflexes. People love to be seen, they love to be heard, and they really love to be like in the media, okay? So I'm like, well, what if I just like start doing that to random people in different places? Like at Joe's Steakhouse, let's just go back to Joe's. Let me just, hey, how was your filet? Was it awesome? Oh my God, it was the best filet. Do you mind if I like put this online? What, me? Yeah, yes, you. Oh my God, great. Hey, can I have your phone number so I can send you the clip of this when I post it? Absolutely, database growing, right? Send them the clip with my logo on it. They send it to everyone they have ever met. Joe puts it on his page, I put it on mine. It's just now creating buzz, right? People are talking, well, who's this person? Why did she interview you? What is this person's deal, right? So now they're following you because now they're just interested. What is this about? You know, I want to follow people who showcase my friends. It's a very, very interesting thing that humans do, right? We love being seen and heard. Now, a new steakhouse opened in Inglewood. I've already been there 3 times. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, it's like I'm a magnet for a steakhouse. So here's the other thing. New businesses are opening all the time. Everywhere around you, there's new businesses opening. All of those business owners are terrified. They're all freaking out. They're all like, what do I do? Like, what if this fails? Like stress, bills, you know, brick and mortar, rent, all of the things. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Let me tell you, when they're in their panic zone, which is like, I just opened a business panic and excitement zone, you swoop in and say, I'm a member of this community and I want to like showcase you. They will never forget it. They will never forget it. They will tell everybody. That's what people do. Here's the other thing, is that you have to ask yourself, okay, first of all, you're in real estate. It's land. It's actually, you're selling the community, right? You're selling pieces of the community. You must be a part of the community. You must showcase it without showcasing yourself. Showcase them, right? These are really, really important points that a lot of people don't do. They'll say, they'll do this, and this is bad. Okay, don't do this. This is very bad. They'll put in their bio or they'll put somewhere, I support local businesses. Okay, but do you really? Do you in actuality, or is it just in theory? Like theoretically, I support everyone here, but in actuality, am I? You have to be in actuality, because here's the other thing that happens. When you start saying things like, I support local businesses, here's all my proof, right? Because all of these little steps that we're talking about right now, I like to also call it, you're building your own cheerleading team, okay? So you're gonna spend a lot of time cheering other people on, right? Promoting them. And then there is a moment when it switches. And this is the magic switch. The magic switch is you spend all of this time promoting everyone else and talking to them and showcasing their business. And then they start talking about you in a really good way. And it can't be once and done. I still talk to Joe Steaks. I have moved states and I still talk to this man. We became friends, you know, he has sent me business. Every time I go back to Maryland, I hang out with them, right? It's a very, it almost becomes like you believed in me when I was flipping out, and there's really quite literally nothing stronger than this, right? No, this is not gonna work. Okay, there we go. So the spotlight spell number 3, the things that I highly recommend everyone doing. Start with 5 businesses in your local area. It's also really good to look up on Sunbiz, businesses that have just opened in my area. Actually go to the business. Okay, do not walk in and do this. Do not walk in and go, hey, I want to make a deal with you. Blah, 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 blah. don't do it like that. Actually use their service, whether it's a salon, whether it's a restaurant. Sit down, have the meal, get your haircut, get your nails done, do whatever it is. Participate in their business. They want you to love what they're doing, otherwise they wouldn't have opened the business to begin with, correct? No one's like, I'm gonna open this business up just to piss everyone off and like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's doing that. They want you to love it, right? So, pick 5 businesses, target them. You must really like them though. Interview the owners, interview the customers. Send all your business there. Go there frequently. Do a dessert deal if you have to. Do whatever you need to do. Promote them like it's your own business, because it is. It actually is, because their database can be yours also, if you do it right. This is a huge, huge way of promoting yourself locally, because we've talked about making the perfect post, appealing to, you know, people's call to actions. Yes. All important. Step 1. It's very important. Social media is a lot of different hats at the same time. Okay? And honing in on people that you see every day that have a huge network of people that you're not genuinely showing up to, you know, participate in, have an exchange of business, have an exchange of support, promotion. It's a huge opportunity miss. Like that new steakhouse, I love that new steakhouse in Inglewood. It's delicious, right? I love it. I'm like, you know what? If I was still in real estate, man, I would be sending everyone there. I'd be having to deal with them. You know what I mean? I want people to also do this. I want my clients, when they show up at a place and say, Holly said, oh my God, she's amazing. Tell her I said hi. They know me. Instead of this faux, like, oh, who's saying it? Oh, the person that just comes in here and buys like gift cards. They've never eaten here. They've never had an interaction. You need to build true, authentic support for the people around you to promote you. And it's sort of like a little, I don't know, it's like a switcheroo that we're doing. It's like, I'm going to talk about you endlessly and you're going to talk about me. But you don't say it. Okay, so content wise, well, how does this transfer? Well, it can be, here's the 3 best places to go for coffee. If you move here, this is where you'll brunch. Local businesses, owners that I'm friends with or love and trust, blah, 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 blah. A day in the neighborhood, ... which would be like getting coffee here, getting lunch here, doing whatever. These are things that people like to see, okay? They like to see this because the most important thing is that you're not saying, buy a home with me. Instead, what you're saying is, this is what life looks like here, and I'm already a part of it. I'm already a part of this dream that you are chasing, this lifestyle that you want. I am a part of it in every facet. I'm not just, you know, buyer's contract and sales contract. I'm actually living the image of what you're trying to get, right? Because again, people don't buy houses, they buy lifestyles and dreams and places. They don't buy the street. You know what I mean? They buy the entire area. And you need to capitalize that and infiltrate all of those areas. It's such an easy, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. You know, again, back to the thing. The first slide is that it takes a lot of work to look effortless. Okay? And seriously ask yourself the question, whoop, hold on, my thing just skimmed. Seriously ask yourself the question, am I a part of this community in actuality or in theory? And if you are in actuality, you're doing great, right? But you can do more. If it's in theory, you need to make all kinds of connections. You know what I mean? You need to actually go in and start facilitating these relationships, because the impact it has online is so incredibly insane. It is the number one thing that people relate to is, oh, this person is helping this person in this community that I want to live in. And I like coffee, I like ice cream, I like all the things. Here are the great beaches. This person's actively living the life I want. And I am going to go with them for business because they are literally living exactly how I want to live. Not just, here's a flyer, right? And it's a very powerful thing when you project, like a mirror, the lifestyle that people are wanting. Nothing is more powerful than showing somebody their dream life in real life, right? Man, this clicker in me. Okay. So ingredient number 3 is called why whispering. So you need to speak to people's reason before you speak to the decision. So the spell effects for why whispering is emotional connection. Without it, you're going to attract browsers, right? People who scroll around, da, 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 da. With it, you're going to attract buyers. And I'm just going to keep on repeating it, but people don't buy homes, they buy safety, belonging, relief, pride. But most importantly, they're buying a future version of themselves. And there is quite literally nothing more potent than selling somebody the best version of themselves, right? You do this by appealing to their why, to their emotion before you appeal to this decision. The decision is buying the house. That should not even be a part of the equation, right? Your job is to speak to the why behind the move. Always, right? So, first-time home buyers. What are they buying? What's their reason? They want security and validation. Growing families, they want space and peace. Downsizers, they want freedom and simplicity. Relocation, they want belonging to a community and certainty that this is the right big giant move to upend their life and move to their dream location. It's very scary, you know? Investors, they want control and future leverage, right? So your targets, the whys that you should be collecting like Pokemon, are all of these reasons why people move, right? And how can I show them all of these whys in the community that I live in? Because our community has all of these. First-time home buyers, growing families, investors, downsizing, upsizing, relocation. I mean, we have it all in this area. This is a place where people come on vacation. And when you live in a place where people go on vacation, you are essentially selling a dream every day, right? Take advantage of this. Learn how to cultivate the whys, right? So, translation for first-time home buyers. Their why, their reason before the decision is that they want to feel secure in this decision that they're making, right? It's a huge, big thing. Growing families. I want room to breathe. This is what they're saying. Downsizers. I want freedom. Relocation. I want to belong. Investors. I want income streams, right? So, always remember that logic explains, but emotion moves. And instead of doing the 3-bed, 2-bath, great location, how you're going to appeal to them is you're going to say, room for a dog, the kids and your sanity, right? You're going to say a place where you can finally exhale, because you take what they are wanting and you turn it into the problem that you're solving, right? They want this, reverse engineering it, like I want space and whatever. Your promotion for the listing or whatever, the condo, the whatever listing you have, you target every one of your whys and you send it out. The same house, 5 different ways. So what I mean by that is that, I mean, if it's a $4 million house, probably a first time home buyer's probably not gonna buy it, but like, do you know what I'm saying? Like ones that every Y that can attach to a listing, you send it out, okay? When you're getting ready to post for that target group, you're going to ask yourself, who is this for? What emotion does this solve? What problem does this remove? And what future does this promise? And if you cannot answer these, then you have to rewrite the post. You must be able to appeal to these questions, because otherwise it's just a scroll past. You have to know who you're marketing it to, what emotion it solves, what problem does it remove from their life, and what future does this promise? Turn moments into meaning. Story alchemy. This is my favorite one. This is the most important one. You have to learn how to be a good storyteller. Okay? So the spell effect, they remember you, right? Without it, you're forgettable. With it, you're familiar. People talk about people who make them feel seen, people who highlight others, people who tell stories, not stats, people who feel human, okay? Stories activate identity, and facts do not do that, but stories do. A funny thing happened leaving a listing appointment one time. This house was in an average neighborhood. That's the only way I can describe it, is it was like kind of boring. I couldn't figure out how I wanted to word it, right? I'm like, what's the oomph? There was several homes for sale in the neighborhood. They weren't moving, okay? They were staying on the market. And I left the listing appointment and I was just doing one of those drive around the neighborhoods, like had it come to me. Like, what is the thing, right? There was a park in the neighborhood. I parked my car there. I got out, started walking around. And as I'm walking down the streets through this neighborhood, there's this lady, okay? And she's walking like this. I'm not even joking. Like the happiest person I've ever seen in my life. She had a golden retriever that was like fluffy and shiny and like bouncing. Like, what are these people? Like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So I was like watching her and I decided, you know what? I'm kind of curious why she's so happy. I'm just gonna go ask her some stuff about this neighborhood, right? So I'm like, hey, can I ask you some questions about this neighborhood? She's like, of course. Her name was Jen, by the way. And I'm like, Jen, what do you love about this neighborhood? She's like, oh my God, let me tell you. So Jen goes on to tell me that one of the highlights of this neighborhood that literally no one would know unless you talk to people is that it's like really into the environment, okay? Like everything they do is like geared towards their kids having a really chemical-free kind of existence. Okay, so I'm like, oh, great. So she's talking to me about this playground that they had just put in the neighborhood. And it's all this recycled stuff, and the mulch isn't mulch, it's cut up tires and like all of this stuff, right? And she's going on and on and on. And how not only is she so excited about it, she's the president of the committee that like gets this stuff. So I'm like, oh, huh. So let me see here. Maybe I should market this as like the most environmentally friendly neighborhood that literally everyone's ever witnessed, right? So we start talking, and I'm like, okay, good, you know what? Well, I tell her, like, I'm listing this house and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know, if I find some buyers, would you like want to talk to them? Would you like tell them about it? Oh, of course, because literally there's nothing she likes to talk about more than the cut up tires and the environmentally friendly stuff and the no chemicals and the solar powered garden stuff, like all of the stuff, right? So I got in my car and I was thinking about it and I was like, of course I got her number, right? And I was like, you know what? This will be the greatest video because no one can do it justice. Like I can be like, the mulch, was cut up tires. I mean, like, I don't know, Jen really sells it because she's like, and something about the heat coming off and all the stuff, right? So I called her up and I said, hey, listen, can I like film you like talking about this? Because I really think it's like a huge like plus, and it's like really like no one has talked about it. I went back and looked at every listing that has been for this neighborhood for the last year. No one mentions this. No one. Do they not know? Probably not. I mean, it was like happenstance that I got to meet Jen and I approached her. So I make this video. Okay, Jen. Jen is a little gem because Jen is so enthusiastic about literally everything in life and about this video that she tells literally everyone. Now, her little committee of environmentalists, they're like, thank you so much for highlighting this. Will you come to some of our community events that we do? I'm like, sure, of course I will, right? I'm an environmentalist. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely, I'll show up. So I show up, and all of a sudden, it's like one person after the next that I'm like becoming friends with, that I'm like videoing their stories, telling their thing. So much business from that, right? They started inviting me to multiple events, right? So then I find a buyer and I'm like, because of course the listing is geared towards like the environmental blah, blah, blah. So I get this buyer super interested. I'm like, hey, how about this? How about after this open house, we go out to lunch, right? Great, we can talk about the house, but I'm gonna invite somebody else with me. I'm gonna call up, text Jen. Hey, Jen, would you like to come to lunch on me? We're going to Joe's Steaks, by the way. And we are going to talk to this buyer about all the amazing things this neighborhood has to offer that literally no one knows about. Oh, of course, blah, 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 So we show up at Joe's Steaks. We have lunch. We're on me. Joe comes out. Hey, how are you doing, Holly? Community building in front of a new buyer, in front of Jen, who knows that I go to her community events, and now she sees me invested in Joe's Steaks, right? This new buyer is like, wow, Holly knows everyone in this whole town, right? Right? She knows where to go, what to do, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna tell everybody to use Holly, right? Because she really cares about all these community events. So then after that, I started going to all kinds of community events, not just Jen. I would just self-invite myself to some things, like planning zone meeting. I have found huge success in people showing up to actively voice their opinions on things that they don't want to happen in the community. Equally great like customers to have. The people that show up to fight for things in the community, either being built or not built, show this huge amount of passion. And you want to find the people with passion, because people with passion talk about you the most. Okay? They're heavily invested. If you are showing up to the don't build on this one square land, I'm coming up to every meeting. I don't care if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, I will be there and I'm voicing my opinion on it. You want them as your clients. You want them to be involved in your database because they are megaphones, natural megaphones, right? They tell everybody. Storytelling, telling people stories, like I just did about Jen, is so important to your own business because it pulls people in and all of their views, their dreams, their community outlook, their why I love it, the why I don't, wish I knew this before I moved here, couldn't be happier in my life in this community. Here's another story, okay? So when I go out, I'm naturally just a curious person. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do, every time I go out, I'm going to ask people, like, I'm having a drink, and they're sitting next to me at a bar or wherever, I'm gonna say, hey, how long have you lived here? Oh, cool, nice. Where do you live? They say the neighborhood. What do you love about it? They tell you. Is there stuff that you don't like about it? Right? So I had this conversation with this woman one time who told me that she sort of likes the neighborhood, but honestly, she really doesn't, because there's one thing that she didn't know and she wished she would have known before she bought the house, because it really is like not in her personality. But this neighborhood, even though it has a really good HOA, they take care of everything. What they didn't tell me is that there's this committee that's called the Walkers. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, they're called the Walkers. And you know what they do? I'm like, what? She's like, every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, they come out and they walk around the neighborhood and they write down everything that is not in HOA compliance, and they report you. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. She's like, and I don't really like authoritarian like stuff. I kind of like to do my own thing, and like I got like citations that my garage door was open. I got a citation that my flower pot was the wrong color. And these, she's like, you know what I actually caught them doing one time? I'm like, what? She's like, I swear to God, they look in people's recyclables and judge them for it. Because I have like all these wine bottles, and they stand around there and they look in there and they shake their heads and they write all of these citations down. So of course that's something I've never forgotten, right? So I had a client that was like very rebellious in spirit, but really wanted to live in that neighborhood. Okay. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
let me just tell you about this inside, secret that I know about this neighborhood that you might need to consider before you actually buy this house, because I feel like you're the type of person who's really gonna hate this. But there's this group, they're called the Walkers, and I tell her the whole thing, right? And I have met many people in that neighborhood now, and they've all confirmed that the Walkers are really true, and they really are judgy, and they're out there with their pens and papers, and they're taking all this shit down. So she's like, thank God you told me that, because everything about this place was perfect, but that would drive me literally insane. I would instantly have to move. And I'd be really mad that I didn't know about that. Because no one's gonna tell you. This neighborhood's great, except it's one group of people that just walks around and gives you tickets all day, right? These are things that you can only find out when you're talking to people and finding out what they like and don't like. I love asking people, what do you not like about this area? What do you not like about your neighborhood? Because you find out the things that no one ever sells you on. No one tries to sell you on the negatives, right? Hey, you want to be pestered endlessly by this group of ladies that walk around at 7 o'clock in the morning giving people citations? Absolutely not, right? Some people are unbothered by it because they're like rule followers and they're never going to be doing anything wrong. Their garage door's always going to be down. Their house is painted beige. There's never a flower pot. There's no noise ordinance. Blah 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 blah. But some people aren't like that, and you have to know, right? So telling stories is a way to communicate. It's a way to get the inside scoop. It's another collecting whys, right? You're collecting a bunch of whys. So the techniques that spark conversation are the ones that I just talked about, but also asking open, like opinion-based open questions that have no right answers, right? You're collecting information. You're becoming a little file cabinet of all the information on all the area that you live in, the area that you work in, the area that you sell the houses in. You want to know everything about the neighborhoods. You want to know the good things, the bad things. You want to know the things they do tell you, the things they don't promote. You want to know it all, right? Because here's the other thing, like there's a lot of like copy pasta going on in listings, like online. And I read a lot of listing descriptions and I go, ugh, it's just so it's just like, I've heard this 100 times, right? Be unique. There's always something unique about the neighborhood, about the people that live there, about the history of the land. I mean, you can come up with anything. Like when Inglewood came out with that big book, The 100 Years in Inglewood, have you seen the big? I was like fascinated by this book. I read it like 500 times. I like love the history of things. So again, I got clients that were from Massachusetts. And they're really into history. Like this guy was like obsessed with like the War of 1889 or whatever, I don't know, like really into it. So when we started looking at properties, I started talking about the history of Inglewood. Because I knew that his storytelling style, his obsession with history and the, living in Boston and he was just really into Americana is what I should say. He was really into Americana. And you take these little personality storytelling techniques that every client has them. And you use it to your advantage. So like, here's the thing, like I would not have sold them 5 houses. I sold this couple 5 houses. One, because one house was close to Indian Mound, and they loved the fact that Indian Mound was a Native American burial ground. They love it. So the other one, because the address was actually 1889, like the war that he was obsessed with. Okay, like it's amazing what people like end up purchasing the house for, but it's usually not what you wrote in the listing. You know what I mean? The person that bought the house in the environmentally friendly neighborhood, that whole entire listing was about the environment. She was a huge environmentalist. And it's like, these are the things that stand out. This is what makes an ad on social media, a post, a marketing campaign effective, is because instead of saying, it's 3 bedroom, 2 baths in sunny Inglewood, 2 miles from the beach, dream home, dream backyard, live the best lifestyle you've ever had, blah, 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 blah. No, like they've heard it all that. Appeal to something interesting, like truly about the house, about the neighborhood. Single it down to like I am looking for truly an environmentalist to buy this house. I want the person that buys this house to really appreciate the exceptional uniqueness of this neighborhood. Now, I had 2 other listing agents call me when they read my listing description, because they were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They tried to say that I was like making shit up about the neighborhood, right? And I'm like, well, I guess you haven't met Jen, have you? Like, they're like, what? I'm like, well, you didn't like, told them the whole story. Like, oh my God, They sort of slowly implemented environmental things. All of the houses sold because it's unique. It's like, oh, this is geared towards this one group of people. The hashtags I used for that listing were all environmentally based. We're all chemical-free kids. We're all blah, 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 all of this stuff, right? I was taking the one unique feature, using the stories of people's in the neighborhood. I put Jen in the beginning talking about it, and then the stuff about the house. It's a story, a connection, a person. I took Jen to the steakhouse. Joe got to meet Jen got to meet Joe. My client got to meet all of them. It's a win-win-win-win-win, because it's a whole big bunch of everyone's involved in this one thing together. And it's like, you can't really quantify it with words, but it's magical. It's a sense of everyone belongs and everyone is striving towards this one thing. And it's very powerful. And story alchemy, when you can blend a bunch of these different ingredients, when you can blend them, when you can take all of them together on one deal, none of those people are going to forget you. Jen still calls me up and asks me, hey, do you want to, I'm like, Jen, I moved. Like, I don't even live in this, I don't live in the state anymore. You know what I mean? But if I was back in Maryland, you're damn right I would go to that mulch seminar that you're teaching, right? Okay, so the types of stories that stick with people are, whoop, this just moved, sorry. This clicker in me, God. The moment a client knew this was the one, film it. What is the thing? You're also doing research. Remember, step 1 is you are becoming your own research and detective in a way. You're doing market research. What made this person know this was the one? Record it. Record it. You have to show these things. This neighborhood, The neighborhood that raised generations. This was a neighborhood that, like, quite literally, everyone in the neighborhood had grown up there, their parents had grown up there, they'd never left the neighborhood. Like, it was like this very interesting thing, right? No one's talking about it. Like, this is truly incredible that there's been generations of families that have stayed here because it's that, like, picturesque, right? It's that perfect. Why this street feels different. This is a great opening line because people want to know why. Before I drive out there, I want to know what it feels like. Not what it looks like, I want to know what it feels like to live here. These are very powerful emotions that you are lacing into your words, to your community. Not just, another piece of paradise. You don't want it to be another, you want it to be the only, the coolest, the most for you. This house was built for you. This street feels different because this neighborhood raised multiple generations of families. Here's a look at, Bob and Sue when they walked in to the house that they bought, their first house for the first time. Here's their faces. You can't really, there's no words that can capture it, but a video can, and you should be videoing a lot of stuff. So, story alchemy, the simplest format is moment, emotion, meaning. Moment, motion, meaning. And stories are spells people cast on themselves. We all tell ourselves stories, right? We all know a bunch of stories. I've just told you 10, okay? I told you 10 stories. Jen the environmentalist, we got Joe Stakes, we got all of the people. Communicating this is sharing your community with others. And you want to put a spell on people. You want them to go, wow, a day in Inglewood is like going here for coffee. Hi, Holly, hi. Da, da, da. Now we walk into Joe Stakes and it's blah, 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 and his whole family with ranchers. We go to this neighborhood that's perfectly designed by this natural cheerleader, Jen, who's like the biggest advocate in the world for the environment and her like gorgeous fluffy dog. You know what I mean? Like these are the stories that put spells on people. You need to use them. Conversation catalyst. Design posts that invite a response. Don't just post things with no engagement factor. So the spell effect is engagement. Without it, people are just silently scrolling. With it, your community building. Because people don't want to be sold to, they want to be included. They want to be included in the dream. What makes a house feel like home to you? Just asking, community, what is that feeling? What is the thing? Just reply. Would you rather have a big kitchen or a big backyard? What's one thing you miss about your first home? These questions are potent because you want to know for all of your whys about first time home buyers, what fifth time home buyers, what's the one thing they miss about the feeling of their first house? Because what they say is probably what first time home buyers are actually looking for. So you're going to use those words, whatever they say. Oh, you missed that blah, 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 blah feeling, whatever it is. Let me put that in, let me market this like that, because without even knowing it, that's what first time home buyers are actually looking for. Questions turn audiences into participants in your business. So if you're constantly asking your community questions and wanting feedback and also responding to whatever they post or whatever comment that they're leaving, because again, it's called engagement for a reason. Like you have to respond, but you're collecting information. You're your own data market research center. Does that make sense? Consistency, enchantment. Familiarity creates trust. So the spell effect of this is authority. Without it, you are invisible. With it, you're the obvious choice. People hire who feels familiar, not necessarily who is best. So, how do I get that? Well, you have a consistent community presence, familiarity through storytelling, emotional resonance, social proof through relationships, and not bragging about yourself. Not, I just sold another one. Okay, it's look who just bought this house. Meet your new neighbors. Meet Bill and Bob, or Sue and Bill, or whoever it is, you know what I mean? Hear their story, post that up, and you're showcasing your community and not yourself. But what happens is that people go, wow, she's the one that showcases everyone else. I'm going to go to her because I like how she highlights people. Here's the other thing. People will talk to you endlessly. You can make 12 videos a day just talking to strangers, people at coffee shops, local business owners. You can put out so much content that is so interesting to people. And it's not you just sitting there talking about, you know, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, market update, blah, 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 blah. It's like people want to be told stories. They want to hear stories and they want to be involved. You don't want people to ask, who should I use as a realtor? You know, you don't want that. You want them just to say, of course I'm calling you. There's no question. You're always on my feed. You're always in the restaurants I'm in. You're always doing something in the community that I love. People go, oh, but aren't they going to be sick about hearing about me from me? No, because repetition, sorry, is not annoying. It's reassuring. They want to know that you're that voice out there that keeps on doing this, that keeps on highlighting, that keeps on talking how great thing this is, or this neighborhood, or this business, or that person, or a fascinating story, or look what just happened at the beach, or blah, 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 blah. That's a reassuring. You become their community like lightning rod. People start coming to you, right? And then we get to the magic switch moment. When all the ingredients combine, you show up as a consumer, you share people's wins, you understand their whys, you're telling their stories, you're inviting their conversations, you're showing up consistently in their community. And that is when it happens. I've seen it happen a million times. The magic switch moment happens. People start responding to your content, sharing your posts, referring you to their friends, saying your name in rooms that you are not even in, inviting you to events, thinking of you before they're even ready to move. They've already got you. Like, hell, I feel like I should move just to like hang out with her. You know what I mean? They want to be a part of it. The final part of this spell is that when you stop chasing attention and start creating belonging, people start talking for you. You have created your own cheerleading squad because Joe Stakes is talking about me, because the salon that I go to all the time is telling me about them. Jen in her neighborhood is saying all this stuff. I'm showing up at all the events. I am actively a part of this community in every format. I'm promoting, I'm showcasing, I'm storytelling, I'm sharing, I'm championing other people, I'm high-fiving their success. I'm doing all of this. It takes a lot of work, right? It takes a lot of work. But then when that switch happens, all of that work becomes effortless. Because now people are just talking about you. And they want to do business with you. They're grateful that you showed up when they first started their business and gave them, believed in them, championed them, took your family to their place, took all of your clients there. Communities that feel like you actually truly care. You know, Jen was like, oh, you know what? No one's ever like asked me any of this. We've had so many houses go up for sale in this neighborhood and blah, blah, and no one's ever paid attention. So she was so happy to talk about the environmental stuff that she was doing. It was like somebody, I mean, I can't even express to you the joy that she felt doing those videos about her hard work with the tire mulch. Seems like something like, okay, I mean, I would never pay attention to that on my own, right? But I'm curious, I'm invested, and I wanna know what makes this place special. I don't live here, so I just wanna know, please teach me, and she did. And lots of connections were made, lots of them. Lots of deals, lots of sales from Jen. And all because I asked her. Perfect stranger asked her. And it does take a lot of work to be effortless. But the magic switch is the most powerful thing that you could ever do for your business. And I absolutely want you to start using these 6 things. So does anybody have any questions? Do you have any questions?
Mine's gonna be a little bit more specific to our
Perfect.
situation, but
Perfect.
going back to the first part
Mhm.
where you talked about like. What makes you
Yeah.
strong and stuff.
Yep.
How do you navigate? The fact that we have a team with multiple agents, obviously I see opportunities for each of the individual agents pages to do.
Yeah.
What is their niche, their
Right.
thing, but then do we just try to hit a little bit of all of that with our main page? Do we see where it all intersects?
Well, what you have to know is, what does your brand mean?
Okay,
What is the message of the brand? Because when you're in a team, it's the brand and then everyone else is individuals underneath in
Right.
that, they're a part of it, but they have their own little stories, right?
Mhm.
But your brand can do all of these things as a brand.
Okay.
And you all should be doing it all the time, because this agent over here, the places that they go, the people that they talk to is different than the person over here. So all of these agents using their points of reference in the community and connecting to all of those databases creates so much business under the umbrella of the brand itself. But the brand itself should be out there doing things like that too. You know what I mean? Because it's like, here we are as a brand, business to business, in the community. Here I am as an individual,
Mhm.
but the value structure is not that different. Do you know what I mean? It's not, it's the whole goal and focus is reaching out in this step, in step 2, the magic switch, is captivating the community around you.
Okay.
So all of this is geared towards that.
Right.
I know that, like, you guys also have a, like, not restaurant, like a
The cafe.
cafe, right? So the cafe has a specific group set also that
Mhm.
like is super interesting and has its own brand that correlates to the team brand, right? And that type of outreach, I mean, the cross promotion that you could just do with that alone is like totally insane. It's like a
Yeah.
totally insane thing. Like, really, you could capitalize on that humongous, because all of you reaching out and doing all these things, it's all about making really good, solid connections, and not just, I showed up, and so can I just buy a gift certificate? Okay, it's like, really, let's be invested. Let's be invested in this. Let's talk about our, like, I know that the cafe is a passion project. It's fueled by like a true passion for vegan
Mhm.
living, right?
Mhm.
Huge market set right there. I mean, capitalizing on that as a face that's like not only in a position of real estate in the community, but being a business owner that serves the community food is a really it's a really special connection, because you're serving them things that nourish them.
Okay.
And you almost get like this like psychological connection with businesses that feed you, that nourish you. And the cross market of that is like nourishing the body, nourishing like your lifestyle. Like it's just two things connecting, like here's your dream life and here's your dream food and kind of in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's merging those two things under the brand, right?
Mhm.
And then separate from that on this side is like all of the agents who are marketing to all of their people, to all of the businesses that they truly have a passion for or not. I mean, going to new businesses that you don't even know is seriously like one of the greatest things to do because they're freaking out, guaranteed. They're guaranteed freaking out. What am I doing? Did I make the right choice? Da, da, da. To have one person come in, experience the whatever they're serving, food, salon, whatever the business is. Participating in that and then saying to them, you know what, I loved this experience and I want to talk about it. And I would like to like highlight you. This is like it changes their anxiety levels. It makes them feel connected. You know what I mean? Somebody really loved what I'm doing. Because it, you know, and for anybody that opens a business, you're kind of like, I think people will love it because I'll love it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm opening it, because I love it. But then you're like, oh shit. But do other people love this? You know what I mean? But then when somebody does, and they're like, no, and I'm really gonna promote you for free. You know what I mean? I'm going to promote you because I believe in it and I love this for the community and I want people to also experience it. That type of like new bond, like I would be all over that steakhouse. And in England, like any new business stuff, any new business.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what it is, just show up, support it, believe in it, talk about it. And actually continue to go there.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, like you have to continue to go there. Like I picked 5 places that I'm like, I'm going, every time I have lunch out with clients, I'm going here. Every time I have dinner out with clients, I'm going here. I'm bringing my family here, I'm bringing my business here, I'm doing da da da. And it's like 5 groups of things, you know? Because it gets a little overwhelming. And then like when you're building your vendors, right? You want vendors that are like, you know, when I first opened, this was the only person that believed in me. You know, like it's these bonds. Because now every time somebody in their orbit says moving, selling a house, looking for a house, they are instantaneously, without hesitation, saying, you must call this person. You must. There is no other way. And people believe it, and they give you the business because you believed in them. It's a magic thing because it's a lot of work building the relationships, but when that switch happens where it's like, I've done all of these things and now I'm realizing that people are talking about my business the way I'm talking about theirs. It's very important. And a lot of people forget this step. There's a step 3 that we're gonna get to in like 2 months from now, but like this is step 2 of acing the algorithm. And it is on top of knowing how to write really good hooks, CTAs and stories. It's now, how do I make all of that also super personal to where I live, the community that I live in? How do I take these laws of marketing and use them in my community where it's everything that I'm doing has a dual purpose. Like if I'm going to video the owner of a restaurant, right? And I'm not talking like a long interview, like tell everyone your favorite thing about this business. Why did you do this? Like your origin story of why you're here. And I'm going to put my logo on it and I'm going to send it to you and they're going to post it all over the place, right? I'm going to post it all over the place. We're going to tag each other in it.
Mhm.
Their people are going to tell their other people, everyone's gonna see it. It's this collaborative effort that is, it's just human nature to share it. Because the new business owner also has a little group of cheerleaders while they like all the steps that they've been working on to get their business open. They have a group of cheerleaders, right? The people that their family, their friends that are like, you can do this. We want you to do this. They've gone through the highs and lows to get the business open, right? When something like this happens, the owner of the business goes, holy shit, guess what just happened? Like this person wants to promote me. The owner tells that group of people. That group of people also become so invested in the fact that you're willing to help, they instantly love you. They've never met you, you'll get DMs, you'll get comments, thank you so much, you don't know how much this means to us, but it's just the slightest things. Tip the scales of like, is this person in theory a part of this community? Or in actuality, right?
And it makes sense, cause like, you know, you have to keep touching your
Totally.
sphere throughout the year.
Totally.
So that you're top of mind,
Mhm.
so it doesn't make sense to just, you film the video once and then you don't talk to that business again
Right.
for a year, like you
Totally.
have to.
You have to
Keep
go,
nurturing that relationship.
Totally.
Or
and
it's
then,
a one-time thing where people saw that video and then they
Right.
don't care about you.
correct, and like also like, you know, closing baskets, I mean, instead of putting like a Ruth Chris gift certificate in there, cool, put like a local business in there. Make the presence local, because people remember these things, they remember, oh my god, or like the day that they're moving in, you know. Send them lunch from your favorite lunch place.
Mm.
Tell that, like, can you deliver this, or I'll come pick it up, and put it in a little cooler, a little cute thing, drop it off while they're moving in. Oh, by the way, this is from my favorite lunch place, whatever it is. Here's the, put their menu in there, their cards, you know, all that stuff. These businesses will say, because you know what, also, here's the other thing, is that all business owners are usually connected into different organizations, into different groups, into all this different stuff. And you infiltrate their entire database by just being an active part of their business. And then they become this massive feeding ground for your business, without anyone ever having to say that. Like, not with all, like, you don't make it look like that. You take all of that away and you just go, Holly as a person absolutely loves steak, and I'm coming here all the time because I love it. And I love this experience, I love the waiter, I love the decor, I love everything, I love the salt room, I love it all. And I like never, for my own selfish reasons, I never want this business to close because I love it.
Yeah.
Right? And when you go approach things like that, they're like, holy shit, you know, like, this is awesome, right? And they're so thankful. And it keeps like, that type of word of mouth infiltrates so many different circles of people. It infiltrates people that don't even, that are like in Michigan right now, thinking about moving to Inglewood. They see your profiles. Look at how, like, I did have a question about like, what's the coolest beach? And here she is. Or like, this is the perfect morning. I do want to wake up and walk out of my house and walk 2 blocks down Dearborn Street and get coffee. And I want to like stroll around and go to these stores. I want to eat some vegan food. This is what I want to do. And I just saw it. And this person's living the life I want by just going to the places that I'm going to go. So when you gear all of this, all your whole viewpoint, instead of like, I am the business, I need sales, and I need business, geared to like, the people that are gonna be moving here, buying the houses, what do they want to see? They don't want to see me talking about how I want to sell you a house. They want to see the life they want. In action, real person, doing the things, living the places, answering the questions that I have about whatever the why is that I am, right? Am I a new homeowner? Am I an investor? Am I this? That? Like, you're gearing everything through the lens of, would this make me stop the scroll and respond if I was looking for my first home? Will it do that? Is it speaking the language of me? Right? Instead of going like, I mean, it's cool for first time buyers, you know, I mean, it's like 3 bedrooms, you know, like, no, it's like, no one's buying, I mean, they are buying the amount of rooms, don't get me wrong, but they're more buying how they view themselves. Like, when you look at houses, like, even when I was like, would go to open houses and list houses, you kind of like, naturally, at least I do, I would walk in the house and kind of go like, if I lived here, what would it be? Don't you do that? If you don't remove yourself and go like, I'm picturing Bob and Jan living here. Do you know what I mean? You don't do that. You picture yourself in the car with the phone, the new house, like whatever it is, you picture you having it first. And that is how you should be showing it, is how you yourself, the words that you would be using the feelings that you would be feeling. Like, I remember like, going into a room and going like, oh my God, all my books would look great in here. You know what I mean? Like, I could really see myself curling up with my books in this perfect room. It has like the perfect window for like sitting in like a really comfy chair reading books, you know what I mean? And that's how I would sell it, because like that was my first view. It's like me living here, not like this room could be used for many different things. It's like, no, tell them the story. Tell them the story. They don't want to use their own imagination. They want to be told the story. Like, that would be a great book room. But now that I'm thinking about it, instead of a book room, maybe it could be Little Billy's room, like whatever it is. You know what I mean? They take the story and then they morph it into their own story. When it's presented as a story. When it's not, it's just an act. It's just somebody trying to sell me something, and I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't really know, because this language isn't the language of somebody buying, it's the language of somebody selling. But when you talk in the language of somebody buying, people respond to it. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
No one likes to be sold to. No one likes, oh, here comes somebody that's salesy. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. They don't like that. So the art of it all is like using other people's stories, using their experiences, using their community, using your community, using your lifestyle, using their lifestyle to create a full package deal of like what everything's gonna be like, People imagine their whole life when they're buying a house. It's not just, will my dishes fit in here? You know what I mean? It's like, how far away is the grocery store? Where are my kids gonna go to school? Are we gonna like grow old here together? I can't wait to see what that oak tree looks like in 45 years from now. Like all of these things, it's like you get these little flashes of this little movie that people make in their minds. I do it 1,000 times a day. But like you have to, when that's happening, because it happens to everyone, you have to stop yourself and take note of when your mind is doing that. It's so natural that we forget to like document it. And you're like, this is like quite literally whatever little flash sequence I just had about whatever place I just walked into, whatever house, that's how you sell it. Instead of ignoring it and going like, like that scenery is great, but it's just for me. And now I'm just going to talk about the square footage. No, don't do that. Talk about the story. Tell the whole story. That's what captivates people. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Does anyone else have any questions over there? I don't know if they're even. But anyway, do you have any other questions about anything?
I don't think so, because right now I just have ideas.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah,
It's a really lot to think about. And like, I'll tell you what.
it makes me think like, well, I should never be like going, what kind of contact can there's millions of possibilities for
A
contact.
million.
Yeah.
Millions. And it's really like, it's just approaching things. So like, okay. When I started my app, okay, I was like, I'm gonna do an experiment because I'm just like naturally curious. I'm just gonna do an experiment where I'm just gonna like, let's see what happens if I just randomly pick somebody and say, can I interview you about how you became a Swiftie? And the person was like, absolutely. And so we did this little interview, right? How'd you become a Swiftie? What does it mean to you? Da-da. Put it up. 4 million people. Like, can you do my origin story? I want to tell my story because everyone wants to tell their story, right? Every business here wants to tell their story. Everyone is human, right? And so instead of being like, be a monthly subscriber to my app, it's like, let me showcase you your story.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to meet all these people. People like, it's all community building. It's world building.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it in our own heads so many times a day with everything that we buy. With everything that we buy. We build these little tiny stories. We daydream while we're driving. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I need to voice memo what just went through my head, because people just think it's like, oh, it's just like, it's just daydreaming. But really what it is like you telling yourself how you're viewing things and how like almost like these little dreamscapes. And those little dreamscapes are like quite literally what everyone else does also. So speak to them. Instead of going like, and it feels awkward at first because you're like, it kind of feels like opening my diary up to, but people don't know this is something that you thought. Do you know what I mean? They don't go like, Holly walked in this house and had a daydream about like, reading books right here. It's not her story, it becomes the house's story, you know what I mean, it's not, it's. You get the most response out of absolutely just being human and looking at everything through the lens of the buyer instead of the seller. How do I buy things? Why do I buy things? When do I buy things? What appeals to me? What doesn't? This is the natural language that you speak, and it should be the language that you market in. It should be the first avatar that you master. Is everything that you do would hook you immediately. Would this hook me immediately? Do I have an emotional response to the shit I just wrote? If I don't, then who's gonna do it? You know what I mean? Let me rewrite it. Let me think about it. Let me truly be in touch with what evokes me and with this property, with this whatever. Let me actually truly rate that instead of what I think people want to hear. Because that's always wrong. What you think people want to hear is 100% not effective. What is effective is what you think and how you feel about something, because it's going off of actual human response. Don't ever we push that down and we go like, yeah, but I think it's like more catchy and markety if I say blah, 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 blah. There is nothing that is more effective than your first emotion over whatever property is. There's nothing. There is nothing more effective. There's nothing more effective than genuinely supporting someone's business. Being their cheerleader. It's how you build an entire wall of cheerleaders around you. Like you can walk into any room in this community and they would be like, yep, she's got our back. You cannot buy that. You can't. You cannot go like, here's $300 a month. Will you, I got your back, right? No, they want to see your face in their business because they built the business to serve the community. They didn't build the business for like ghost gift cards. You know what I mean? That's not what's driving them to do this. They want to serve, they want to feed, they want to make their art, they want to do whatever that is, so like always talk in that voice. I have come to find that it is like the absolute most effective thing in the world, because also no one can dispute it. See, the other thing is like, oh, that's not really authentic. You know what I mean? Because being authentic is the #1 word on social media. People can tell when somebody's not invested in 1 second. Okay, they can tell. And when you truly are authentically involved in the community, in other people's businesses, in your clients' stories, I mean, honestly, you can go through your database and pick like people that you know the people I'm talking about. You're like, this person's like a natural cheerleader, or like there's like, even if there's like just 10 of them, 10 people that you know without question. I called them and said, I just want to videotape you for like literally like 2 minutes. And I want you to say how much you love the house that you found with me. Okay? Don't mention me. Just talk about your life right now. Okay? Do not mention me. You do that to 10 people, you send it out. I mean, first of all, the social proof thing is ridiculous because it's after the fact. These are things that have already happened that I was a part of. Okay? Then it's like, then you get like the realm of people that are like, these are my future people that haven't even bought houses yet. But I'm appealing to them through the fact that these people have already obtained the dream that these people are currently chasing. But I've helped them do it. They're talking about it. I'm posting it out. You're going to see it. You're going to go, that's what I want. Very cool. They're going to go to your page and they're going to look at all the videos of all the testimonials of people that just love the home that they bought, the neighborhood that they live in, the community that they go to, like all of the things. Here's a little highlight reel of local businesses that I just love. Not that love me, that I love. Here they are, right? It's all in the guise of them through you. And it creates this like, wow, I mean, she's just really into like all of these parts of this community because there's so many databases. I mean, just putting your video on other people's pages, it's like, it's their whole database you're getting. They're getting exposed to that you would, even though you go there every day for coffee, or like every Sunday for brunch, or like whatever the thing is. If you haven't penetrated their business, I mean, it's a wasted opportunity because you love it. It's like, maybe I should just showcase you and get all of these people. Because all of these people, not only are they all these people, but all these people know a bunch of other people that I don't know. All of them. So why don't I just like continuously showcase you? New menu, oh, let me talk about it. Oh, new whatever the thing is. Here's a lunch shot, here's a dinner shot. Like truly, if you pick the businesses, just like not all of them, 5 that you love. And you almost treat it like it's your business with the level of promotion. It is access. They unlock the door like whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everybody. Of course, because like it's selfless.
Mhm.
Like if somebody walked into the cafe and did this, what would be the response?
No, I don't want you to promote, no, yeah, they'd be really excited and be like, yeah, let's all get the word out.
And like, thank you,
Yeah.
and oh my God,
Yeah.
how sweet of you.
Mhm.
Like, I can't live without this, you know, with salad and whatever other thing, right? That would be so like, really? I mean, it's so invested and you want to talk about it. Oh my God, cool. You know, absolutely. Then who knows? Maybe this person is like a Jen, who's like, I know I'm the president of good eating at the, you
Right.
know, like at the
Yeah.
like elementary school chains or God only knows what. Do you want to come speak there? It's all of these, you invest with in an honest way, you know what I mean? Like actually love the business, you know, actually love their business. Don't pick one that's like, okay,
Yeah.
pick one that you're really into, you know? And it's like, oh my God, we just gained access to so much visibility. And no one can dispute it. No one can go, you're not really a part of this, like, you just say you are a part of the community. Because here's the thing that happens, is that when, like, your team,
Mhm.
they all start doing this, what's gonna happen is the other agents around that say that they're like really into the community and put businesses first and like this active force in the community.
Mhm.
But they're really not. They're the theoretical ones where they're just like, of course I love people's businesses here, but they like never go to any of the businesses and they could care less.
Yeah,
Okay, that little shtick that they have gets immediately squished
okay,
because you are living the message, right? And you're actually having other people talk about it through you. There's nothing more powerful. There is nothing more powerful than that, period. Especially in communities like this, where it's not huge, but it's not small, you know what I mean? Like, the impact is humongous. It's not like, you know, New York City, where there's
Yeah.
like 8,000, you know, like, it's the impact is almost instantaneous and explosive. And the unique thing about your team is that you are also in, like, you have the real estate and you have a cafe, like, you're involved in this multi-dimensional thing that you can really like start going like, you know, maybe like everyone that comes in the cafe, I'm just gonna like videotape. I'm just gonna ask them, hey, or can we take selfies or whatever the thing is, you know what I mean? And just promote it out and send it to them. Like, text me your number and I will send you the video. People, it's so nonchalant and so casual that they don't even realize that it's like, now you just become a part of my database.
Mhm.
It's like this instant switch. And now you have them. And now you're gonna send them the video that you should send it to them. And now they're gonna send it to everyone and they're gonna tag you. And now you're gonna tag them. You like, it becomes like this instantaneous connection because you shared a moment, then you like captured it. And that is like true relationship building. You know, especially in communities like this, like, there's so many groups. Teams, sport, like, what all the things that people are in, garden clubs, I mean, like, there's so many things that you can infiltrate. I mean, honestly, just the farmer's market, look at how many businesses are right there.
Yeah,
Each their own little business inside this one big business, right? That is a lot of databases. That's a lot of community bonding. That's a lot of visibility. If you just walked around the farmer's market and like, I'm getting honey at my favorite honey place, I'm getting that, like, let's talk about the egg guy, you know, or like,
Yeah.
let's get the paella, whatever it is. These are things that people are, they're priceless to people, because they're like, I've been doing this for 20 years and no one's like ever taken the time to go, you know what, I've been coming here for 10 years and getting like whatever it is that they're selling, and no one has showcased that. It's truly a life-changing thing, and you start doing it frequently, you blow people's minds.
Yeah.
And it becomes a massive force, so I know without a doubt that you all, I mean, you all could take the magic switch and like truly
Yeah.
crush all of Inglewood, all of Inglewood. Easily.
Yeah.
All of Inglewood. I mean, you, yeah. How's the cafe doing? Is it doing good?
It's been good, yeah,
Good.
and it's picked up since season officially here. I
Yeah.
think it was like last Saturday, they had their best day ever, so, yeah. It's.
Did they record it?
I know, right?
See,
Yeah.
best day ever. Thanks, community, for
Yeah.
making this the best day ever. So now what you have to do is go, that was such a moving experience, that next Saturday, you're just gonna recreate it. Maybe it won't be
Yeah.
the best day ever, but you're gonna film it like it is.
Yeah.
And go, thank you for community for making this the best day we've ever had.
Mm.
We love you.
Yeah,
Thank you. You all are making this business survive, because that is what it is. Right?
that makes sense.
Yay! Alrighty, well, if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah,
Got
sorry, I
my
got
number.
an SOS text
Yeah.
from the office that was like, we need you back here.
Okay,
So-
absolutely. If you need anything, let me
It's
know.
good, yeah, thank you.
You're so welcome.
I've got a lot to think about.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
Strategies to try. so.
Good, excellent.
Yeah.
I'm here if you need me.
Okay.
Bye.